Have you ever felt that your absence is affecting someone's feelings? That simply leaving their life has created a difficult-to-hide void that's bothering them inside? It's as if, behind all that silence, there's a whirlwind of thoughts, insecurities, and nostalgia. But pride, oh, pride is like ice that freezes any chance of reconciliation. This person would rather suffer in silence than admit they were wrong. And there you are, wondering, does this person still think of me? Let me tell you, yes, they do, and a lot. However, Stoicism will teach you how to change this situation without having to chase after them, without lowering yourself, and best of all, by making this person come to you, wanting, feeling the absence, almost without realizing it, reaching out to you. Today, I'm going to show you the calm, precise, and effective tactics that the Stoics use to keep their minds in check, turn the tables, and become simply unforgettable. And no, this isn't about playing games in pursuit. It's about understanding how people function and how your presence, or rather your absence, can be a powerful tool to evoke longing, regret, and even a certain obsession. You'll learn how to become that person who's hard to forget, even if the other person pretends to feel nothing. And if you're truly ready to make this shift, comment below. My absence is power. This phrase is a reminder that you don't need to make noise to be noticed. Those who know how to use silence have control over any conversation. Get ready, because in the next few minutes you'll discover how to use the ancient philosophy of Stoicism to make this person miss you like never before. And without realizing it, they'll want to return to your world, but this time, following your rules. The loudest screams are the ones no one hears. And silence, my friends, is the sound that drives those left behind crazy. They won't show it. They won't tell you. But your absence is slowly hurting this person inside, quietly, in silence. You stop texting, you stop chasing, you don't respond, you don't engage. And this silence, this empty space, is echoing in their minds like thunder in a deserted place. The more you distance yourself, the more pride tries to take your place. But it can't handle it, because what's missed isn't just the words. It's your vibe, your presence, your tranquility. Before we continue, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to tell you might hurt, but it will free you once and for all. Think about it. A room full of smoke, but the fire has long been extinguished. The smell still lingers on the curtains, the walls, the air. This fire is you. You've already left, but the smoke, the memories, the warmth that suddenly turned cold, that's what's throwing this person off balance. They still feel what you left behind, even with you gone. Do you think they're okay? That they've moved on? Let me be direct. No, they're not okay. They're stuck, because pride is a prison that looks strong on the outside, but inside, it's just suffering, and they're trapped in it. Every time they think about reaching out to you, pride whispers, "Don't be weak. Let them come first. Let them suffer." But the truth is, the pain is already there. It's eating away at them. People don't just break in big fights. They shatter in silence. They crumble when they see your name on their phone and don't have the courage to send a simple hi. Not because they don't want to, but because they're afraid. Afraid you won't respond. Afraid you've moved on. Afraid that your silence isn't resentment, but peace. And peace, my friends, is what scares them the most to lose. Seneca once said, "If you want to be strong, control your emotions." And that's exactly what you did. You took your power back, not by hurting, not by manipulating, but by walking away, by letting silence speak for you. And it's screaming louder than any argument. They'll pretend to be fine, post photos, laugh loudly, act as if nothing happened. But at night, when everything goes quiet and no one's watching, it's your silence that keeps them company. Your name almost escapes their lips, but they hold back, waiting for you to make the first move. They want a sign, a message, anything that shows you still care. But that is no longer your role. You're not here to fix anyone's ego. It's not worth breaking your own heart just to mend theirs. You're here to grow, to improve, to move beyond games and silent battles. Because true power doesn't lie in having the last word. It's in walking away and letting time reveal who truly cared and who just wanted to control. So stay strong. Don't look back. Don't think that the other's silence is peace. Sometimes it's just desperation. Let your silence resonate. Let your absence remind them of how important you were. and let pride build a wall that keeps them trapped while you continue to rise higher. If this resonates with you, if you feel that someone is silently suffering because you chose to take care of yourself, comment below. My silence has power. Show them, show yourself, and show the world that your absence is not weakness, it's wisdom. You know that question, why aren't they falling apart like I thought they would? It seems simple, but it's what bothers this person the most. Because deep down, pride must accept a hard truth. Maybe the one who made a difference was you, not the other way around. And that hurts. So stay firm, without provoking, without posting indirect messages, without responding to anything that fuels the stories they've created in their own heads. Let them get confused on their own. Let them scroll through their phones and see you smiling, looking light and free, without understanding how you achieved that without them. Because true strength doesn't make a fuss, doesn't beg for attention, doesn't send hidden messages. It simply stands there, strong and clear. And now, that's your power. You're no longer in their notifications. You're in their minds. And the most ironic part? They put you there themselves. If you feel this is happening, if you're sure this person is still watching every step you take, even silently due to pride, write in the comments, I'm tired of being hidden in their life. Let them read it. Let them know. But above all, let yourself see who you really are. What comes next will make this person feel your silence like never before. And here's a warning. What you're about to understand will hurt those who thought you'd never have the courage to walk away. It will reach those who played with your presence, thinking they could have you forever. But now it's too late. The emptiness you left has become the hardest mirror for them to face. Each day without you has turned into an internal struggle. Feeling against pride, desire against fear. Pride disguises itself with smiles, but inside, it's just insecurity and panic. And with every second you choose to remain silent, another conflict begins within them. It's not love screaming, it's confusion, it's pain. They are living a battle you've already overcome, the one of not wanting to show weakness while drowning in quiet longing. And this war rages on even with smiles and photos, forced outings, and fake I'm fineings. The truth? They are stuck in time, trapped between two impulses. One that wants to text you right now and another that says, pretend you feel nothing. They linger there, looking at your name, writing and deleting messages, trying to convince themselves they've moved on, but deep down, they're hoping you'll break the silence first. You've become the thought that insists on appearing when everything goes quiet, the absence that transforms into presence in the loneliest hours. And the longer you stay firm, the more it eats away at them inside. Because now it's not about you anymore. It's about what they've lost, and they know it. In the mirror, they see someone who let something special slip away. But instead of facing this pain, they hide behind pride. They go out more, post more, force smiles, but it's all just distraction, and distraction only postpones the pain. It doesn't solve it, especially at night, when everything quiets down, when there are no likes, no forced laughter, no conversations to distract. Only reality remains, and that's when your name comes back with full force. Your presence is felt even from afar. Your absence screams louder than any phone call. But still, they won't reach out. Not yet. Because pride still speaks louder than suffering. Until the moment comes when the pain weighs so heavily that silence ceases to be protection and turns into punishment. Then comes the desperation. While you were present, they tested, disappeared, returned. They thought you would never really leave. But now that you've truly distanced yourself, their ground has shaken, and fear sets in. Is this the end? Have you really broken free? Have they truly lost? And yet, they keep waiting for something from you. Anything. A slip-up, a post, a casual phrase. But the more time passes, the more silence turns into agony. And the most important thing, this fight is no longer yours. You've given everything you had. You've tried. You've loved. Now the ball is in their court. But instead of doing something, they hide behind their ego. Yet ego doesn't solve anything. It only hardens what's already broken. Marcus Aurelius said, "What blocks the path becomes the path." Their pride is the barrier. Silence is the wall, but your absence is the key that forces them to confront everything they've been avoiding. So stay strong. Don't text just because you feel nostalgic. Don't undo what you've built just because your heart feels tight. Each day you choose calm is a day they have to face what they've done. They do feel it, yes. Not with noise, not with words, but deep down, where everything truly happens. When everything stops, it's you who remains there. If you've made it this far and know you won't trade your peace for anyone's ego, write in the comments, "My silence is my strength." Write it firmly. Show them. Show the world. Show yourself. Leftovers aren't love, they are control. A vague gesture, a strange message, a loose memory. This isn't love. It's just a way to keep you tied down without commitment. They won't truly seek you out, not with sincerity in their eyes, not with words that heal. Instead, they throw breadcrumbs, just enough for you not to leave for good, but never enough to bring you back body and soul. A mysterious phrase, a story with a hidden message, a song that brings back memories, or even an accidental encounter at a place that was just yours. You notice, you feel, and a part of you wants to believe it's a sign that there are still feelings, that what's missing is courage. But even if that's true, it changes nothing, because crumbs of attention don't heal, they only trap you. They are disguised ways to keep you caught between almost and never, neither with them nor free. The painful truth is, they only want to know if you're still around. They want to maintain access without commitment, your presence without effort. And that's not love. It's a game. They don't want to truly come back. They just don't want you to leave. They keep giving you rope, planting doubt, feeding hope. If you fall for this, you'll end up chasing shadows. You'll think that any gesture means something. You'll try to piece together a puzzle that only you are trying to solve. Don't hurt yourself this way. Those who genuinely want to be with you show it. Without games, without hints, without half measures. They show it with action, with real presence, with clarity and effort. Those who only offer scraps don't want to love you. They want to measure you. They want to see if they still have control over you. And every time you respond, like, or view their content, you give away a piece of your peace. Let's put an end to this illusion now. Those who truly miss you don't play with your feelings. They come with truth, with transparency. And if they don't show up, it's not fear, it's pride. And you weren't born to try to understand confusing signals or decipher hidden feelings. You're here to grow, to live with intensity, to be whole, not half of what someone else is willing to give. And when you stop chasing after these crumbs, something incredible happens. They have to face the truth. They see that the game no longer works, that you've matured, that you no longer accept maybe in place of true love. And that frightens them, because they know they've lost control. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal. And is there anything more liberating than letting go of those who only gave you crumbs when you deserve so much more? So let them send signals into the void. Let them post songs, phrases, forced coincidences. But don't take the bait. Don't respond. Don't feed what no longer deserves you. You're not cold or bitter. You're just tired of acting in a story that was never yours. You've grown. You've left the maze. Now you want clarity. And that scares them. Because while you were trying to get their attention, they had control. But now that the noise has stopped, only silence remains. And in the silence, they see they are alone on stage. If you're seeing these signs, if you still feel that doubt wanting to believe that these breadcrumbs have value, write in the comments, "I won't chase after breadcrumbs." Let this be your turning point. You're enough. Let them see. Let the world see. But most importantly, let you feel it. Hit the like button if you're tired of deciphering empty messages. Now let's talk about what hurts the most. When the image they create of you becomes bigger than the real person you were, they don't remember the fights, the flaws, the distance. No, what haunts them are the good moments, the laughter, the long conversations, the calmness you brought. And the more they think about it, the bigger that perfect image grows. But here's the point. It's no longer about you. It's about the void they realized you filled, about the ideas they created, hope, support, meaning. Now that you've left the scene, everything turned into a race after a ghost. And it's this ghost they claim to love. It's not you, not the real living person who keeps changing, but an invented version. One who never complained, never left. And this illusion hurts because it prevents them from seeing what is real. Let them tell the story however they want. Maybe it wasn't my fault. Maybe we were perfect. If I hadn't said that. So they get stuck in that, thinking, going back in time, not to resolve things, but to relive them. Because reliving hurts less than accepting that there won't be another chance. You've become the endless chapter, the what if. And as beautiful as that may sound, don't be fooled. Being someone's memory is not the same as being someone's choice. The fantasy doesn't require effort, maturity, or truth. It ignores who you've become, because while you move forward, changing, growing, they're still clinging to who you were, to the pieces that fit into their story. But you are no longer that person. You haven't stopped in time. You're not waiting to be remembered. You're moving ahead while they only move backward. And the more you change in silence, the bigger the gap between you grows, the clearer the difference becomes, until the fantasy starts to hurt. Not because it's beautiful, but because it's no longer real. Because deep down, they know. You are no longer that old version. They know you're not sitting around thinking about them. You're remaking yourself, healing, shining, becoming exactly what they dreamed of, but never had the patience or maturity to keep up with. And that's when true regret hits. That's the mirror they can't face. So please, don't go back. Don't shrink to fit the idea they created. Don't respond to disguised signals, camouflaged longing, because they don't miss you. They miss the version of you that still needed them. And that person no longer exists. As the poet Rumi said, don't lose yourself in your pain. One day, that pain will become your healing. And that's what's happening now. Your silence is dispelling the illusion. It's clarifying things. They're realizing that you were never theirs. And now, not even in thought, do they have the right to use you. If this resonates with you, if you feel like they're stuck on an old image of you, write in the comments, I am not their fantasy. Say it out loud. Own it. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world. In the next episode, we'll talk about the moment they realize they're trapped in a prison of their own making. And that's when your silence becomes the greatest lesson they've ever learned. They thought, let's see who gives up first. With that smug little smile, thinking you were still caught up in feelings, fragile without them. But time teaches in the hardest way. Because pride doesn't bring peace. Pride doesn't heal. And silence, when used just to put on a show, becomes noise that no one hears anymore. Now that's what they're living, lost in the same silence they used as a weapon. But now it's no longer power. It's weight. It's suffering. A pain that only grows. The mask is falling. The games are losing their charm. The attention they desperately sought no longer fills the void. The false strength begins to crack under everything they've kept bottled up. They look at their phone, see your name, and that tightness in their chest comes back. This time it's different because now they know the blame was theirs. They stare at the empty conversation, hover their finger over the send button, but every time their heart tries to act, their pride holds it back. What if they don't respond? What if I seem needy? So instead of sending a message, they suffer. Instead of resolving things, they get stuck. Instead of trying again, they freeze. They're trapped not by you, nor by your silence, but by their own ego. The same ego that said, you don't need them. You're stronger than this. And now that pride is destroying everything inside. The worst part is they were sure you would give in, that you would backtrack, that silence would hurt you. But it didn't. You moved on with your life, kept learning, becoming an even better person. And now they see someone who is no longer there, who is no longer easy to read, who is not waiting for anything anymore. And that is scary. Because the silence they thought they controlled is now controlling them. Every second without a message from you is a new thought in their head. Did I go too far? What if they don't call back? What if they never come back? The door is open, but they can't pass through. Why? Because passing through would mean admitting they were wrong, that they miss you, that they lost something valuable. And pride won't allow that. So they keep circling in the same place, looking at the exit, but without the courage to go through. Meanwhile, you're free, because you chose to grow instead of compete. You chose calmness instead of conflict. You didn't just stay quiet. You disconnected. You didn't just leave, you went beyond. And that messes with them, because now they know they can't go back and pretend that nothing happened. A lot has changed. You have changed. As Lao Tzu said, he who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is powerful. And that's what you did. You conquered yourself. You mastered something few can. emotional control. So let them deal with their own silence. Let them remain in the prison they created, piece by piece. You don't have to hand over a key. You don't owe them comfort. They confused your kindness with weakness. Now they're seeing your strength and understanding they can no longer control you. If you know they're suffocating in their own pride while watching you grow, now they realize you didn't break, you transformed. And when it hits home, it might be too late. You're not absent for them to feel in control again. And this absence, it's the punishment they never expected. You turned the tables without saying a word. And don't be fooled, they feel it deeply. Not because you want to hurt them, but because they are now forced to face the void they've dug themselves. They are having to accept that true love, genuine presence, and real connection doesn't beg, doesn't chase. It withdraws with respect. And respect, my friend, is the kind of silence that screams the loudest. That silence hits hard every time they pick up their phone and can't type a message. Every time they laugh with everyone else but cry alone. Every time they want to say, "I miss you," but pride keeps their mouths shut. They're drowning in words they'll never say, while you live in peace. A peace that comes from your control, because you've overcome the urge to chase. You've moved past the need to prove your worth. You've discovered that true power lies in what you choose not to do, in the situations you decide to leave behind, in what you choose not to respond to. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have control over your mind, not over what happens outside of you." Understand this, and you will find strength, and you've understood. That's why they can no longer comprehend you. That's why your silence bothers them so much, because they no longer know where you stand in this story. They don't know if you've moved on, if you're healing, or if you're thriving. And this mystery burns more than any answer. You've become the silence they can't ignore. You've become the thought that won't leave their minds. It's clear proof that your life goes on without needing them, and that's what gets to them the most. So don't break this silence. Don't give away another part of yourself that they couldn't care for the first time. Don't go back just to ease their conscience for having left you, because the moment you speak, the lie falls apart for them and for you. Let them get lost in their own thoughts. Let them crash on their own. Let your silence become the mirror they avoid facing, because the longer you remain quiet, the stronger the truth emerges. You never needed them to say it was over. You went ahead and ended it on your own. If you feel this strength rising within you, if you've stopped explaining yourself and started putting yourself first, write in the comments, "My silence says it all." Let them see. Let everyone see. But above all, remember, this is your new version. Like if this message resonated with you, subscribe if you're ready to continue on this path of balance and firmness. Because in the next part, we'll talk about that moment when their pride crumbles, and that message you thought would never come arrives. Too late. The time always comes, and you can bet it arrives when the weight of pride starts to press down too hard. The tough facade, that air of confidence, begins to dissolve in your absence. The silence, which once seemed easy, now becomes a burden. And suddenly, not speaking to you feels scarier than seeming weak. Then they return. But they don't come back with open hearts, admitting their mistakes. They don't return with sincere apologies or expressions of regret. They come back quietly, carefully, perhaps with, "Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you." Or, "I hope you're doing well." Maybe even, "I found a shirt of yours. Do you want me to return it?" It seems trivial, polite, harmless. But behind that light tone lies fear. Fear of having lost you for good. It's not a declaration of love. It's an attempt, a nudge to see if you're still around, waiting for a message that never came. But what they don't realize is that you're no longer on the other side. You're not checking your phone every minute, dreaming of a reunion that only existed in silence. You found comfort in the void, grown stronger with the distance, learned that feeling nostalgic isn't a reason to lose yourself. That version of you who chased after them, who gave in first, who accepted so little, is in the past. It died the day you chose to respect yourself instead of getting lost in emotional chaos, and you never looked back. Now, who appears is the past trying to fit into a present that is no longer the same. They thought they'd find you unchanged, but what they see now is someone calm, firm, whole, someone who responds without haste, without bitterness, without needing to prove anything. Just presence, just quiet confidence. One that says, "I didn't need this message to be okay, but thank you anyway." And that's what shakes them the most. Because those who act out of pride expect only two reactions. Either you rush back, needy, or you slam the door in their face out of anger. But when you do neither, when you remain calm, without drama, without exaggeration, without bitterness, they panic. Because now they're not facing someone hurt. They're in front of someone who didn't let themselves break. You won't be cold, nor cruel. That's not balance, it's revenge. And you don't want vengeance. You want peace. You'll listen. You'll let them feel what they need to feel. But you won't sacrifice your tranquility just because they finally knocked on the door. Because the question is, where were they when you needed to understand what was happening? Where was that message when you silently struggled to move on? Where was that willingness when you were asking, even through gestures, for a little attention? This isn't settling scores, it's clarity. They swore they had time. They thought you would always be around, even in silence. But your silence gave the greatest lesson of all. Time doesn't wait for anyone's pride. While they overthought, doubted, and stalled, you were healing. You were becoming a new person. So if they show up, and many do remember, keep one thing in mind. It's not your job to ease the burden of their delay. It's not your responsibility to make everything comfortable again. They're not returning to the same place. And surely they're not coming back to the same person. They'll try to act familiar, pull up good memories, thinking that will soften your heart. But nostalgia doesn't rebuild bridges burned by pride. Only genuine effort, sincere presence, and consistency can create something new. And the truth? Most aren't willing to offer that. Many come back just because the void became a mirror, and in that mirror they saw themselves alone, without your affection, without your listening ear, without your care. But that's not love. It's neediness. It's necessity disguised as affection. So, don't be mistaken. Don't let a light message reopen wounds you took so long to heal. Remember, what comes back may not be regret. It could just be the reflection of your silence, screaming louder than their denial. If they really want access to your new self, they'll need to earn it, not with pretty words, but with genuine actions, vulnerability, continuous effort, and honesty. And if they're not ready to offer that, then you continue your journey, because this new version of you, shaped in silence, created in solitude, is not someone who waits. It's someone who attracts respect, attracts those who deserve it, attracts peace. You no longer need to chase after those who don't know how to walk alongside you. You don't need to shout for those who choose to remain deaf, because now you understand. It doesn't matter who comes back. What matters is who stays. It doesn't matter who shows up. What matters is who truly remains. And above all, it's about who you've become throughout this process. If this resonated with you, if it reminded you of something important, like this video now, comment below, "My silence speaks for me." Subscribe to the channel if you're ready to continue on this path of self-discovery, emotional strength, and tranquility. And remember, you don't need anyone to feel complete, because now, finally, you are enough for yourself. See you in the next video.